It's August 23rd, 2013. And for today, we have to remember to buy oatmeal, foil, big gallon-size freezer storage bags, and diapers. Okay, remember that. Okay, so now, let's talk about what the Bible is. The Bible is essentially a codification of human morality. Human in-group morality, human out-group morality, and it's also an example of how humans reinforce moral systems, and also an example of how leaders of religions exercise control over people and how they kind of maintain power. It's an example of all that. It's also an example of using tricks and using how the human brain is susceptible to imagery and essentially the human brain is capable of running essentially virtual machines. Virtual machine on top of virtual machine on top of virtual machine. Can reference Daniel Dennett for that. So all that together, the Bible, the Quran, the Book of Mormon, whatever, there's lots of other human moral books. They tend to use that methodology. Okay, so yes, the Bible has good aspects of human nature and human morality written in there, couched within this memetic and genetic methodology of transmitting that. But it also has examples of outgroup morality. And it ascribes the death penalty, it ascribes the death penalty not only to instill fear into people for questioning the thing, okay, that's kind of the power aspect and that's the belief control aspect, but it also ascribes the death penalty for things which human cultures back, thousands of years ago decided, okay, these things are so destructive we need to have a big penalty for them. Now today, most people would agree that we should not ascribe the death penalty to destructive behaviors. Instead, we should use education, and we should use honest science. And with regard to science and the social sciences, psychology and other and hard sciences, when they're attempted to be applied to social sciences, applied to humans, it's very hard to keep your biases out. When you're studying the cosmos and stars, it's easier because you can just say, oh yeah, my preacher tells me there's a God. Well, okay, I'm studying the stars and there can still be a God and stars. Just examine Joseph Smith on that front, where he had his God from the planet and or star of Kolob. Okay? And then there's the Catholic Church where they think, oh, yeah, our God is compatible with evolution, no problem. But when it comes to the social sciences, even the scientists can be tripped up by whatever their political social ideology is. What the political correct thing to think is. They can be tripped up by that. whether they're going to lose tenure. They can be tripped up by that. Now, when the people who wrote the film, what is it called? Anyway, there was a film by that annoying guy who does eye drop commercials, Ben Stein, and they did a film about advocating for creationism, which I can't remember the title of, but I'll include it in the description. Anyway, they claimed that we should not believe evolutionary science because scientists exclude so-called intelligent design, so-called proofs, because of bias. Now, they're incorrect on that. Scientists have not excluded, searching for the search for other reasons as to why we got here, and whether we have a genetic connection to other apes and monkeys and other life, and whether we're direct cousins to other life, and all that sort of stuff, and whether it took 14 billion years to come here or 7,000 years. No, I'm sorry. Bias did not enter into that answer. But with regard to other answers, the huge question of the day, as kind of imposed upon us through, ex-religion / atheist groups, there is a lot of bias with regard to the question and the answer to homosexuality. And even the question of whether it's good to live the child-free life, and whether children thrive equally well, quote-unquote thrive, in a homosexual marriage and couple compared to a straight, regular, normal, traditional, normal, human couple, a reproductive couple, like when you think about other animals and what a children of another animal is, and who they're hanging out with. Do they hang out with the gay couple? I don't know, maybe a little bit, but for the most part, it's the normal couples that are raising them. But humans are so complicated. We have this deal where there is a lot of socialization that helps us, survive and thrive and move forward. It's not all one or the other. It's combined, locked together. So it's very true that biases does influence what a supposedly objective scientific evaluation is of a given social situation. So the reason I mention the Bible and what it essentially is, it's a human instrument, an example of human morality, of human control, social control, and human morality, in and out group morality. So when a person leaves a religion and they become an atheist, and then if they, heaven forbid, think that some of the things in the Bible or the Quran or the Book of Mormon, or if they think that if they think that some of those views that ascribe stigma to certain behaviors, if they think some of those stigmas may actually be of value, then they'll be accused of other atheists of not being a genuine atheist, of not being, or of being a Christian atheist, or an Islamic atheist, or a Mormon atheist. They'll state the premise: oh, you have just taken on the stuff of your old religion, and you're just holding on to that inappropriately. But the fallacy of that argument comes when you examine cultures which have had zero. You can do two things: examine cultures which have had zero connection with the religion of your youth, and see what they do. Now, I did that firsthand when I married a Chinese woman. I did that firsthand. They don't know crap about Joseph Smith or Moroni or Nephi or Kolob. Some Mormons may not know about Kolob either, about how the Mormon God had sex with Mary, the mother of Jesus. Strange. Anyway, they don't know anything about that stuff. They don't know anything about Jesus, and about how Jesus will send you to hell if you don't kiss his bum. But you have to take a step back and realize that all that stuff is just an expression of humans trying to use whatever tools they could grab for to control and curtail otherwise destructive human behavior. So it's not a matter of being a Christian atheist or an Islamic atheist or a Mormon atheist. It's kind of a honest human atheist. How about that? So, anyway. So I agree, let's not ascribe the death penalty destructive behaviors. Let's use education, let's use honesty. Let's try to be a little bit more objective even when it's harder with regard to the social sciences. Okay. So, anyway. And the Black Atheist of Atlanta, I realized that the history of the black people in America might naturally make them a little bit more nationalistic, I guess, and think that every aspect of European culture is inherently evil. I can understand why they think that way. But on the other hand, this listening to their views on other stuff helps me take a step back and realize that it's not a matter of being a Mormon atheist or a Christian atheist. It's just being an honest human. All right, have fun.